guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony Lucan. I'm a local real estate agent here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa City area. If you have any thoughts of buying or selling, feel free to reach out to me anytime. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share. In today's video, we're going to go over cost of living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So make sure to watch the video to the end. Going to give a lot of stats, a lot of information that should be helpful to you. Let's get right to the content, guys, and I think you're going to enjoy this one. In this video, we're going over the cost of living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We're going to go by the cost of living index, which is an index put in place by bestplaces.net, where I got my information. The cost of living index is going to go over the necessities such as health care, transportation, home values, and price of goods. It's not going to really get down in detail. It doesn't weight things such as childcare and education, some of the things that may be important to you if you're moving in the area. Make sure to research all that kind of stuff on your own. Overall, you're going to notice that Cedar Rapids' cost of living is relatively low compared to even the state of Iowa, the bigger cities here, and also everywhere in the Midwest and the United States. First, I want to go over the cost of living index here in Cedar Rapids. You're going to see on this screen that the cost of living index here in Cedar Rapids is 79.2, which is well below the national average. Iowa's average is actually at 80, so it's just below that, but overall, very, very cost-effective place to live. You're going to notice that some of the bigger cities and even the Midwestern cities are much higher than even Cedar Rapids. And then we go to housing, and that's at 56.3, so obviously that's way below the 100 grade of the national average. We're over 40% below that. The housing here, really, really affordable. A lot of people comment on that to me because I am a realtor. If you have any questions about that, obviously reach out. Transportation is another one that's way below the national average, over 31% below the national average. Transportation here is really cheap compared to the bigger cities and just the United States in general. Then we get to groceries, and that's even below the average of 5%. You can get your goods even cheaper than most other places across the nation. Then there's a couple things that are just above the national average that I wanted to mention in here that are very important to people, especially if they're moving in the area. Utilities are just a tick above the national average at 1.4% above the national average. And then you have healthcare is 2.8% above the national average. So those two things are very important to most people, and they're just above that national average. All in all, it's a very great place to live as far as those main factors of cost of living. We're going to get into some housing, and that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, traditional home, single-family home that a lot of people like to buy or base their pricing off of. And here in Cedar Rapids, the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath is just over $214,000. Then the average price for a 2-bedroom condo, if you're someone that is just getting started or is an empty nester, the average condo 2-bedroom is $162,000 here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Now I want to compare Cedar Rapids to all these bigger cities and even more local ones. We're going to start with the 5 biggest cities in the United States of America. So in this graphic, you'll see that compared to New York City, Cedar Rapids is a whopping 89.4% below that. Obviously, it's a lot more affordable across the board for most everything here in Cedar Rapids compared to New York City. Now, if you go out to the West Coast in one of the most expensive cities in all of America, that's Los Angeles, we're 97% below their cost of living. That just goes to show how affordable it can be here in Cedar Rapids. That stat is really, really mind-numbing when you see that we are 97% below one of the biggest cities in all of America, of Los Angeles. Now, this one's a little closer to home, and this is Chicago, and we're 28.2% below Chicago. Cedar Rapids is way below that and really affordable compared to even Chicago. Now we go down south, and it's a little more affordable there in Texas, but the biggest city in Texas is Houston. And Cedar Rapids is still 16.3% below Houston. We're even more affordable than where a lot of people think is affordable, and that's Texas. Here in Cedar Rapids, it's an affordable place to live. You're seeing that trend, especially with the top cities in all of America as far as population. Then last, the 5th biggest city in the United States is Phoenix, and we are 29.5% below their cost of living. So again, way below all 5 of them, especially Phoenix, another place that's relatively expensive. Now we're gonna go into more localized cities here in the Midwest, start with that, and then get to some of the bigger cities here in Iowa. And we're gonna start in St. Louis. Cedar Rapids is 3.2% below the cost of living in St. Louis. St. Louis is obviously really, really affordable. It's really close. That's just a place that's comparable to Cedar Rapids. Then we go just west of here, about 4 hours, 4.5 hours in Omaha. Cedar Rapids is 10.6% less cost of living than even Omaha. We're seeing that Cedar Rapids, even compared to Midwest, is a little bit lower, or quite a bit lower in this case. We go north in one of the more expensive cities in the Midwest, and that's Minneapolis. Cedar Rapids is 25.8% below the cost of living in Minneapolis. From Minneapolis, we're going to go east and we're going to go into Madison. That's about 4 hours from Cedar Rapids, 3.5, 4 hours. How does Cedar Rapids stack up? Very well. We're 22.2% below even Madison. Even the bigger cities near us, we're not counting Chicago because we've already went over that, we're much lower. Now we're going to go into a couple cities here in Iowa that are definitely comparable, or one's real close and one's the biggest city in Iowa, and that is Des Moines. Even though Cedar Rapids is a tick above at 0.5% above the cost of living in Des Moines, I consider them comparable. It's so close. You can go Des Moines and Cedar Rapids. You almost have to dig deep into them to see which one's more affordable and which one has what you want in each city, because as far as cost of living across the board, they're about the exact same. Then the last city I'm going to cover is Iowa City. It wouldn't be right not to add that because it's only 30 minutes south of Cedar Rapids. So how does Cedar Rapids stack up to Iowa City? Cedar Rapids actually has 8% lower cost of living than Iowa City, and being a realtor in both, I can tell you that the housing is more affordable in Cedar Rapids. There's higher average home sale in Iowa City compared to Cedar Rapids. I think that has a big impact on the cost of living. There's a handful of cities across the nation, in the Midwest, and even in the state of Iowa to compare Cedar Rapids to. Hey guys, if you're watching this video, you may be considering moving to Cedar Rapids, or you want to know more at least about Cedar Rapids. Well, Iowa City's close, so you may be wondering more about that as well. I did a video actually going Cedar Rapids versus Iowa City. It may be for you. It's going to be above. Make sure to click that link and watch that video. But let's get back to the video at hand of cost of living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. If you've been researching Cedar Rapids and this is a place that you're definitely interested in living, I do want to mention some places that are basically Cedar Rapids that if you're not living here, if you're not from here, you may not know. We're going to start with Fairfax. Fairfax is in the southwest side, basically southwest Cedar Rapids. It's not considered Cedar Rapids, but it's so close that everyone here pretty much considers it southwest Cedar Rapids. We're going to go to the opposite side and into Marion. Again, if you're not from here, you may not know this. Marion is basically northeast Cedar Rapids. There's really no landmark or anything that's dividing Cedar Rapids from Marion. Like I said, it is northeast Cedar Rapids to anyone that lives here. That's definitely a place that you want to keep in your sights if you're looking here in Cedar Rapids. Then next, we're going to go into Robbins and Hiawatha. It's basically north central Cedar Rapids. If you go just north of Cedar Rapids, there's really no cutoff line again, but it's a place that you should add to your searches if you're looking here. You should definitely add Robbins and Hiawatha because it basically is Cedar Rapids. Then we got one place northwest of Cedar Rapids that's kind of like Fairfax, where it's pretty much Cedar Rapids, but it is a little bit disconnected, and that's Palo. That's another place that you definitely want to add to your list of places that are basically Cedar Rapids. They even go to school districts in Cedar Rapids. Those are 4 places that you definitely want to add to in your searches if you're looking in the area. Now, I talk to a lot of buyers, and with this YouTube channel, I get people reach out to me from other states. I want to mention a few small towns that are in real reasonable distances to Cedar Rapids, less than 15 minutes from Cedar Rapids, that a lot of people like to search when they're in the area. This one is actually about 20 minutes south of Cedar Rapids, and that is Swisher-Shoeyville area. This is one of the most beautiful places in all the area, if you ask me. This is definitely a place if you like small towns. They're disconnected from both cities of Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. They're in between there. Like I said, one of the best places to search. So definitely add that to your search if you're looking in the area and you want a small town feel. Next is Ely. This is again about 15-20 minutes to the southeast part of Cedar Rapids. You'll see it here on the map. This is another place where it's kind of got its own little small town feel to it, where it's disconnected from the cities. Definitely a place if you like small towns to look into and add to your list if it fits the bill. Now we're going to go east of Marion, which is basically Cedar Rapids. We're going to get into Springville. Again, about that 10 to 20 minutes east of Marion. Nice little town disconnected from the city of Cedar Rapids. If you like that small town feel. Now we're gonna go up to northeast of Marion. Disconnected again is Central City. A lot of people like this area. It's a small town feel. You're disconnected again. That's another place to really consider if you want to be in that northeast area, even a little bit further Central City. Then the last one I'm gonna mention is Alburnett. And that's basically just north of Cedar Rapids. It's only probably 10-15 minutes again north of Cedar Rapids. Has that small town feel, that small town community feel. These are 5 towns. There's more towns than this, so if you are questioning some other small towns, maybe west, even further, maybe in that 30-minute area, definitely reach out to me. I can definitely help you out. I just have to know where you want to be, and I can definitely give you more pointers if you're someone that's not familiar with the area. Now, the last thing I want to cover, it wouldn't be right if you're out of town, you don't know the area, you may be moving here, is the gas prices. How does Iowa stack up? Here's a picture of the AAA map. You're going to see that Iowa is just below average. So that light blue is actually lower prices. We're lower than the national average 100%. Even here in Cedar Rapids in Lynn County, here's another graphic pointing out the prices there. We're even lower than Iowa's average price of gas. I know from living here, I live in the southwest side. I always get gas on the southwest side. It has the cheapest gas in all of Cedar Rapids. If you want to even get more into the gas prices, southwest Cedar Rapids has the cheapest gas as of right now. That's it, guys. That's the cost of living, and hopefully you got a lot of value from it. If you did, make sure to subscribe for sure, and like, comment, and share. If you're going to move in the area, I'd love to help you. Just reach out to me. I'll leave my information in the description. And yeah, guys, I hopefully have a great rest of your fall into winter, and we'll see you on the next video, guys.